Hello, good morning. It's Friday the 9th. I'm FX Blue and this is the market brief. So it looks likely that England will follow the Scottish lead and introduce new COVID restrictions as soon as next week. While of course the intention is to help slow the spread, many believe that it's just another step closer to another full lockdown in the UK. Hospitality, of course, will be hit again, and while Sunak is considering local furloughs to support those affected by the local lockdowns, they won't be nearly as generous as the original furlough scheme. In the market, sterling is still struggling to challenge that 130 level against the dollar. 129.70 was the best we saw yesterday, and we've dropped back a bit on the open today as the GDP for August was a miss. Expectation was for 4.6% there, reality 2.1%, and that was even with Sunak's Eat Out to Help Out scheme. Now, I'm no expert, but I always thought maybe work out to help out could have been a better idea, where folk are incentivised to get to the gym and do some exercise. Fitness over fatness in the fight against COVID. Who's with me? But anyway, with Brexit talks also coming to a head next week, the volatility risk is likely to increase for sterling. Dollar volatility is being driven by the US election, of course, as Trump continues to play down the effect of COVID. What we don't know is whether or not he's laid up behind the scenes on oxygen between his public appearances. What we do know is that his attitude is very divisive. Supporters of all the American freedoms seem to love his attitude, while those directly affected by COVID, and possibly anyone with a degree of common sense, they're not so keen. But regardless of all that, dear old Donald has refused to attend the second presidential debate because it would be held virtually, and he fears his microphone could be switched off. I kid you not. In the Eurozone, inflation is becoming a major talking point for the ECB. There is a concern about the current level and indeed about the pace at which it could rise in the future. That of course means that the relative strength of the euro is now also up for discussion. I've just run out of battery. But yeah, keep an eye on that because it could easily see euro dollar top out around the 118, 120 level. For now though, it remains within the 117 range. I think about 117.80 was the high of the day yesterday. Right, we rather ran out of steam at the end of the week there, didn't we? Have a wonderful weekend and please do join me again next week. All the best.
If you do not have a clue, then just tweet through and ask FX Blue.